I was in a pattern for a little bit. I went on a little vacation to Arizona and with my daughter for a volleyball tournament. And I was like, I finally got a deep breath and some rest. And I realized I had been in a pattern of like over giving, right? I'll just give until I'm like fully drained out. Like that's an old scarcity and lack pattern, right? I had to remember, oh no, get back on track. Like where are your boundaries not tight? Where are your standards not tight? Where are you not asking for what you not want, right? And creating space for it. So I just invite you to give yourself some grace. So personal responsibility is truly where it's truly where your next level of abundance can begin, because when you get that honest with yourself, then you can create the shift. You can recognize that you are the problem and you're the solution. And it's that simple. So I'm going to give us some, I wrote down a few different examples here. I want to give them to you. Just what I consider to be like sort of the, passing the buck, the excuses, the victimhood, the blaming, looking outside of ourselves, things being conditional. And I want you to listen to this so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about, because all of us have said these things or thought these things. But this is what not taking personal responsibility sounds like. And it's going to sound like, oh yeah, that's totally legitimate. Of course. So I want you to hear it. I wrote these down. The reason I'm not successful is because there's too many people in my field or industry. I don't have the results I want because the economy is down. The gym I want to go to is too far away. I'm too old. I don't know how. My boss is a jerk. I can't slow down. I can't afford it. I don't have enough time. The weather's been miserable. It's so unmotivating. My team doesn't know what they're doing. My spouse is driving me crazy. These sound like pretty acceptable excuses. Am I right? Let me know in the comments. The thing about an abundance revolution, women coming into their empowerment, women, creating wealth inside of their lives, creating their vision, stepping into their fullest expression. That happens when women stop making excuses and start operating from a place of self-love, from a place of radical personal responsibility. The energy shifts. It's palpable. When somebody loves themselves enough to be honest, to just stand in that, like, I'm going to own what it is that's not happening for me. And then I'm going to shift this. I'm going to shift the way I show up. I'm going to shift the way I be. I'm going to shift the way I think about things. Things start to expand for her. Things start to light up and get super magnetic for her. And she starts to lead. That to me is the abundance revolution. The woman like lighting it up from the inside and then beaming it out, right? She starts to lead with a whole new level of authority and influence and like momentum, right? By showing up differently, by walking the walk, by healing and growing, right? She's leading from her heart and she paves a new abundant way for everybody to walk with her. When you shift the paradigm of what's possible inside of your life, your business, your company, like that paves a way for everybody. The expansion that you experience personally creates an expansion for everybody. And that's why we're talking about this. So I want to reframe these. I want to reframe these from perspective of just complete revolutionary personal responsibility. So let's say you say to me, I want to experience more peace and ease. And if you've got one, like type it into the comments and we're going to get really honest about it. And then I would say, okay, like, tell me about that. What's creating that dynamic? And then you could say, well, my kids are leaving their crap all over the place and my husband doesn't clean up or doesn't help out. That sounds pretty reasonable, right? Somebody's You've heard maybe yourself say that at one point in time, or, heard other people say it, right? But then I'm going to call you on that and I'm going to say, that's nice. But what's the real reason you're not experiencing peace and ease? And then you're going to get really honest with yourself. And you might say something like, I'm not asking for help. I'm trying to control it all. I don't let anyone know that this is frustrating me to the point where I just hold it all in and then I like burst out in anger. I'm not making space for the practices that I know actually really create space and ease for myself. I'm not meditating. I'm not getting outside. I'm not exercising the way I want to. That's personal responsibility. Did you guys hear the difference in that? So I want to go through that list that we just had. And I want to rewrite those excuses, like all those excuses that I just gave you about being too old, my boss is a jerk, there's too many people in my industry, like all of that stuff. I want to walk through it again and I want to like let us hear those from a new perspective. So say we say, I want to grow my business. And then, we've given the excuse that there's too many people in my field or industry. Personal responsibility is going to sound a little bit different. It might sound like I actually haven't been showing up for my business. I have not been visible. I've not been sharing my offers. I've been hiding. That might be a depth of personal responsibility. The gym that I want to go to is too far away. That's the excuse. Instead, you might say, I've been afraid to go to the gym because I'm comparing myself to other people. I don't have good boundaries on my time. And so I've been letting everybody else's meetings take over my time because I haven't been willing to put the structure around my time. If I really wanted to go to the gym, I could get myself there. But I haven't been committed to my own fitness and my own health. Maybe we take this one about my team not knowing what they're doing, right? That excuse, like my team doesn't know what they're doing, they won't have enough, they don't know how to do it, they're going to get it wrong, whatever, any of those kinds of excuses. If we really took responsibility for that, it could sound something like, I haven't been willing to give up control because I don't trust them. And I don't trust them because when it comes down to it, I don't actually think I trust myself to let go of that. My tendency is to want to do it all. And so I just keep doing it. Right? I don't have enough time. One of those other excuses. I don't have enough time. If I'm really honest with myself, it's because I've had shit boundaries around my time. I could actually make time if I wanted the time. If I wanted to prioritize this, I would have. You guys hearing me? That's been a big one for you. Okay, this is good. So I want to give you an exercise because this stuff is hard, but it's really, really powerful. And I did this exercise for myself recently and just looked at a couple different areas where I felt like things weren't the way I wanted them to be, or I wasn't feeling the level of connection, or I was just feeling kind of like exhausted and depleted by certain things. And so what I did was, and I'm going to have you do this, just get a piece of paper in your journal or whatever, and you're going to draw like a line down the middle. And on the right side, you're going to, or on the left side, you're going to write down what are the things that don't feel like they're working. Is there something that's exhausting you? Is there something that you're frustrated about? Is there something that you've been wanting inside of your business that hasn't happened yet? Is there something inside of your personal experience that just isn't feeling the way you want it to feel? So that's the left-hand side of the column, right? That's the thing that's not working, the place where you've been making an excuse, the thing that you've been trying to like push off or blame on something else. And then the right side of the page of that column is going to be you getting really, really honest about why that thing hasn't happened yet, why you don't have that feeling, why you're not in the place that you want to be with it. So maybe just pick one thing and flesh it out. And if you're brave enough to share it in the comments, I'd love to hear it. And that's the exercise that I want to leave you guys with today, is just really allowing you to, take that with you, like get honest with yourself. And like if there's something that's not working, why is it not working? What's your part in that?